What's up, guys? Welcome back to Biopilot Arms. Today, we're going to be going ahead and taking a look at a shooting that just happened. It's going all over Twitter. I've had friends send it to me, and so I was watching the footage, and everyone in the comment section, everyone all over the place is arguing whether or not the shooting was justified. Now, there's not a whole lot of information about this shooting other than the footage. I'm just going to go based off of just the video, and we're going to break it down as to why or why not it may or may not be justified. Alrighty, guys, so here is the video. I'm just going to press play. We're going to go a little bit. I'll stop it when I am going to chime in.
What cop knocked the fuck out? Seven. Seven. Oh, we can do this shit. Zero. This motherfucker got the fucking mouth. This motherfucker got the mouth. What? 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 Do it. Do it. What? Do it, motherfucker. Do it. Do it. I'm ready to fuck up all that, bitch.
So, obviously, the bigger gentleman seems to be the aggressor. These other guys were inside of a vehicle, and this guy comes up and starts yelling at this one kid in particular. So it seems to be that he's the aggressor. Now, it is important to note that if the kid was the aggressor, depending on the circumstances, that self-defense may not apply. I don't see how in this circumstance, however, how self-defense would not apply. Unless he made them, a threat of, oh, I'm going to shoot you or something like that prior to this, in which case the bigger guy is dumb. But I can't see a argument that would work that would make the smaller guy the aggressor. He's coming out of a vehicle. Maybe he yelled at this guy. Maybe it's a road rage incident. I don't know the context prior to this. But legally speaking, usually if you are the aggressor, you cannot claim self-defense if the interaction is still ongoing. For instance, if you, started a aggressive shoving match with somebody, and then it progressed into a knife fight where you stabbed somebody, you would be in trouble, right? Now, if that same shoving match stopped and you started walking away down the street, and about a minute later, the guy who felt wronged by you came up and shanked you, and then you stabbed him back and killed him, then that would be self-defense because the original interaction had ended. At this point, the interaction is still ongoing.
Hey, bro, motherfucker, what? Hey, what?
Okay, so I may have cut part of that out towards the end there because YouTube has a thing about, dead bodies. So I just cut that part out. So this is the second view, but before we go on to that, I want to talk about what just happened, right? So as you could see, the bigger gentleman went ahead and punched the younger gentleman. Now, I've seen two arguments so far, one of which is disparity of force. This guy was twice his size, and the guy was cornered inside of the vehicle because he can't run away because there's a door in the way and a vehicle on the other side of him. He's in that wedge. He can't go anywhere. And the guy is double his size. Other people have been saying, oh, well, yeah, but it's 3 against 1. Mind you, the one friend did nothing. He just stood there. So imagine, like, you get punched in the face by someone who's clearly bigger than you, right? First of all, you're probably going to get tunnel vision, so you're not even going to see whether or not your friends are helping you out or not. But on the off chance that your peripheral vision still works, the guy that actually ran to go and help him was behind him. He wouldn't have been able to see that guy at all. If his peripheral vision was working, all he would have seen was his friend just standing there doing nothing. So More likely than not, he didn't see anything except this big guy. And if he did, he saw his friend doing nothing. Both of those scenarios result in the same thought. Oh, I need to defend myself. Nobody's coming to help me. Second thing is, I've seen a lot of people arguing, yeah, but he only punched him once. Okay, who's to say that he wouldn't have punched him again, right? So he punched him, and he kind of seemed like he, got a little off balance and took a step back. The kid stepped back farther into the door, creating a little bit of space, and then he reached for his gun. Now, we're going to watch the close-up video, and you'll see why, a second reason why this may have been a justified shooting. So you can see right here, he's up in his face. His friends are just standing there. They're not really doing anything. And then he punches him. The kid falls back, and he goes to grab the gun. Now, you could see from this angle, you couldn't see it too well in the first angle. But from this angle, you can see that the bigger dude punches him, and then the kid goes for the gun, right? Now, based on the background of this video, you can see mountains in the background, and it looks like a dry desert area. To me, that suggests, Midwest. Okay, so apparently this took place, as far as I could find, it seems to have taken place in Colorado, which does have a stand your ground law, or rather, at the very least, it doesn't have a duty to retreat law. So chances are this guy is probably in the clear. However, Colorado is one of those states where they're kind of iffy on guns, so we'll have to see, how this goes. But as far as legally speaking, I think he's probably okay with the stand your ground law. He probably has a stand your ground-ish type law in effect. So now, basically, that would mean that he has the right to defend himself in any place that he's legally allowed to be. I would say the parking lot of wherever they are constitutes that. Second of all, usually the same states that have that type of law on the books also have laws that make someone going for your gun. Dual possession basically means that if you're struggling over the gun, both of you technically have possession of one firearm each, because you are both fighting over the gun. And you can see in this video that unlike a normal rational person would do when you see a gun being drawn on you, he should have backed up. He would have been like, okay, you know what, I'm good, I'm going to leave, right? If the kid had shot him then the kid would probably be in trouble, right? However, the opposite happened, right? This guy lunges for the gun. Now, based on what we've seen so far, it seems that the bigger guy is the aggressor. And as we mentioned at the beginning of this video, the aggressor cannot claim self-defense if they were the aggressor. Meaning that by him lunging for the gun, if he had gotten the gun from this kid and shot the kid with his own gun, he would not have a self-defense argument or claim. So he had no right to go for that gun to even stuff the draw because he was the aggressor. Or at least that's what it seems like in the video. I don't know for sure. But based on the video, that's what it seems like. Meaning this kid is now, having been in that dual possession tug of war, he just shot somebody who was in possession of a gun. Legally speaking, that is. So because of that, he shoots, right? And you can see that a majority of the shots pop off when the man is still in close proximity to him. I think one, maybe two shots go off as the man is running away. Yeah, so it was about 3 seconds. He let off about 7 shots in about 3 seconds, right? So Now, we're going to go real quick. We're going to take a look at the average human reaction time. So, the average human reaction time to a visual stimulus is about a quarter second, right? Now, that's just the average, right? So, you have to factor in a lot more factors when it comes to the human reaction time: stress, whether or not that person's average or not. Um, this kid, I mean, they're wearing winter clothes, so it seems like it might be cold out, which can affect your reaction time as well. So especially when it comes to visual stimulus translated into an actual action. So I'd be willing to give or take about zero point 0.5 to 0.75 seconds would be what I would say would be the reaction time in this scenario to see, process the information, and then have your brain send the signal to your body to stop, right? It also depends how you train at the range. If you train at the range for self defense scenarios where you do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? Then you may only shoot 3 shots. Seems like this kid probably trained to let off 7, 8, 9, or even dump the mag. So muscle memory comes into effect where he goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Some people shoot in 3s, 5s, 7s. It just depends how you train. Now, the reason I bring up the visual reaction time. So, let's say he starts shooting at the guy, right? And it took about 3 seconds to dump the entirety of the 7 rounds. The man was probably only running away to the point where he wouldn't be a threat anymore after about 2 seconds, right? Because he was right up in there, right up on this guy, in the doorwell, like through the door, trying to grab this gun, right? So the kid gets off a couple rounds. The guy starts realizing, oh, I'm getting shot at. Then he starts to decide to run away, and he gets hung up on the door, has to go around the door, all the while the kid is still shooting. Then he gets out in front of the vehicle, and that's when the kid probably sees, okay, it's time to stop shooting. But again, there is a delay from what you see to what your body is doing, especially when you have muscle memory involved. So, your brain sees, okay, he's running away, I can stop shooting now, right? From the time that your brain says it's time to stop shooting to the time you actually stop your finger from pulling the trigger, again, is probably about 0.5 to 0.75 seconds. And because he's actively shooting, that's going to result in 2, maybe 3 additional shots, depending how fast his trigger finger is. I would say in this instance, based on how far apart the shots sound, he probably got off those last 2 shots in that reaction time gap, right? Which means that at the moment that he decided to stop shooting was just as the guy got to the front of the car. But because of the lag time on the reaction time, he ended up taking those 2 additional shots from that position between the frame of the car and the door where it hit the guy and then he collapsed. So, if you combine all of these factors together, I would say that it is, for the most part, a justified shooting. Now, the problem is, not all of these factors are taken into account by police, nor are they taken into account by a grand jury when charges are being proposed. So, could this person be indicted? Yeah. Could they go to jail if they don't have a good lawyer that brings up all of this information? Yeah. But, in my opinion, it's a justified shooting in the sense that, legally speaking, and based on the understanding of human reaction time, decision making, and the way that it went down, according to the video, I would say yes, it's justified. Now, if other information came out that, the kid was the aggressor and the guy was getting in his face and the entire, thing happened after this kid did something, then maybe probably not. But we don't have that information. I have just seen just this video. So, who knows? Alrighty, guys, if you liked that video or you learned something new, go ahead and drop a comment down below and let me know whether or not you think that this shooting was justified or not. And if you appreciate the fact that I stayed up really late and lost a ton of beauty sleep, as you can tell from the deep bags under my eyes, to bring you this video, then go ahead and like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so that way the next time I put out an insomnia fueled video for you guys, that you guys will get notified at 1 in the morning, so that way you can watch it first thing when you wake up, because we all know that my face is your favorite face to wake up to in the morning. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all of you guys, and I will see you guys next time.